Hey everyone, my name's Joseph and I want to do common sense on history. And how, and also a little bit of present things too. And I want someone to tell me, how did the United States get this bad? To where the government has almost pretty much control over us. And getting everyone turn against someone just because of skin color, or rewarding bullies for what they're doing by making them the face of getting rid of guns. So let me get on to this video now. History is very important. We should all learn it. That way we don't repeat the mistakes of our past. Now I watched this one boy that said he had to grow up because he read about what happened to his people during World War II, but he was crying. He said he grew up because, alright, the dude didn't grow up, he just, or no, needed his bottle and wah wah. Alright. History can be beautiful and it also can be dark and evil. And here's a good example of that. Martin Luther King. It was a beautiful part of history, but here's the ugly part about it. It's when that SOB that shot him. The beautiful part was he united the United States. He made it literally where blacks and whites can get along, or all races get along, and move forward to equal. But it didn't really work out for the Native Americans. Now, before you fuss and say, well, nothing bad happened to Native Americans, let me go back on their history. They used to live on this land, no form of government. They had their tribes, they had their hunting grounds, they had their fishing grounds, and they probably warred with each other. Who knows? It wasn't a perfect system, but it was a system to help people live and grow. Now, the Britons come here and take over 13 states. The tribes that had the land were forced off it to different lands. And where it kept going westward, the more and more land the tribes lost, because the government's greedy. They wanted gold, they want the resources of the land. Now, people say the Trail of Tears was about Native Americans having slaves, and that's why they were moved. Correct me if my memory's wrong, but didn't the president at that particular time have slaves? So why would he move a tribe with slaves? I think that's a government lie to make them look bad. The truth is, the Trail of Tears was about, they found some type of they found some type of resource, gold or oil on land, that would make them wealthy. So they went to court, regular court. The court sided with the Native Americans, so they took it to the government. Government was sent in with an army with guns and made them march to where they did. And the reason why it was called the Trail of Tears is because they had to carry their dead on their back. Not too many people want to learn about Native American history because it shows a darker side of the government. Now, another dark side of the government when it comes to Native Americans, 50s, 60s, and I think close to the 70s, it was legal for doctors signed by the government to sterilize Native American men and women. If you watch Longmire, they'll actually say some of that, and also History Channel will say that. But now, The History Channel is covering that up because they want to keep their jobs going. Now, me being half white, half Native American, I use both my ancestry lines to check out my history to find out how they lived and how I want to better myself than them. Like several tribe members on my Native American side served in the Confederacy, and their names being drug in the mud because CSA equals racism, which, if that was true, then how come Abraham Lincoln gave the Confederate States 100 days to rejoin and keep their slaves, or 100 days or their slaves would be free if they didn't rejoin? And that's what I like doing, is researching of history to make sense out of what's going on, because a lot of times the facts will get shuffled, the things will get lost. And like I said, the government ain't all good like they say to be, because I'm going to do present time now. How can they get refugees a home, job, and money, but they leave homeless people out on the street struggling? And like I said, history can be beautiful and ugly. It depends what you look at it. What that shooter did to Martin Luther King Jr. was ugly, but what he did was beautiful. United the United States. And what did terrorists do when they attacked 9/11? On 9/11? It made us like a hornet's nest. We united and kicked their butts. Now, it's pretty bad how people can say, look at my views, my beliefs. They don't trust them, don't believe them, because it's my common sense. It's my history, it's my rite of passage. And to make me look down on ancestors because what they did, or what the government says they did, it's really nasty. Because I believe a lot of my ancestors are heroes. A lot of my ancestors is probably still in the ground underneath a Burger King or McDonald's parking lot because land developers didn't want to preserve historical sites because they make more money. And yes, I'm using present modern days to do my stuff. But we need to go back to how things was. Give government less control over us. And we, the people, work together to make this land beautiful like it could be. To make the newer generation stronger and to show respect instead of little kid. And here's a past event into modern event. Back when I was a kid, if I said, "What are you looking at, effer?" I would get a hand to my mouth or a hand to my butt. It's called discipline. Now these kids go smoking weed, going, "Fudge, man, I just had sex with this girl." And it's like, what in God's name are these new children doing? But anyways, this is going to be it for this common sense history video. But remember what I said. Learn about your heritage, learn about your history before you slam someone's race, someone's heritage. Do what Martin Luther King said. Or no, be Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. of us all moving forward together as one. Don't let your skin color, what race you are, control your destiny of how the government's run things now. Do what Martin Luther King says. Be brothers and sisters and move forward to a better future. Because the way things are going, we're in a rotten cesspool of hatred and not understanding. Alright, peace out. Good morning, good night, wherever you're watching this from. Adios.